Hi guys, this past weekend I went to the Edmonton Comic and Entertainment Expo. It was so much fun. It was amazing. There was so much to see. This is actually my 5th comic expo that I've been to. I've gone to both the Calgary and the Edmonton expos for the past couple of years. And if you've never been to an expo, you need to go. There's just so much. There's comics, there's so many people in cosplay. There's so much stuff to buy. They bring in different actors and actresses every year where you can get your autographs, you can do photo ops with them. They have so many great booths. This is one of my favorite booths right here, the Alberta Brown Coats, where they sell Firefly and Serenity related items. If you don't know what Firefly and Serenity is, shame on you. Go watch it right now. So this is the only thing I got at the Alberta Brown Coats this year. It's just a sticker for my car. I am a leaf on the wind.
I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar.
The hell? It's okay. I'm a leaf on the wind. What does that mean?
So Summer Glau was at the expo this year. She plays River on Firefly and Serenity, and I did get a chance to meet her, and she was so nice. I got her to sign my Firefly DVD here. Shanna, stay shiny. And I also got her to sign this picture for me. So this is Nat Jones. He's a very talented artist. He does some of the art for the comic 68. And he did a custom comic cover for Kevin. He wanted a zombie in a Hannibal mask, so that's what he drew for him. And it turned out really well. He also has some prints that I've started collecting too. So these are the prints I started collecting from Nat Jones. I really like them because they reminded me of my kitty Hugo. This one I actually got last year at the Calgary Expo, and then I got these two this year. And I really like this one too. I like the color in this one. Okay. You see the resemblance? Another great artist is Jason Palmer. He does a comic exclusive every year where he takes all the guests that were at the expo and puts them in one picture. It's kind of the first booth I run to. I've gotten one of his pictures every year that I've gone to an expo, so if I were to miss out getting one, I'd be very sad. And yes, Raj and Howard from The Big Bang Theory were there. I was gonna go see them, but their autograph prices were a little bit too much for me. They wanted $70 a piece, and I unfortunately did not bring that much money with me. I also went to a really good seminar called Women in Video Gaming. It had 5 awesome women who talked about programming, developing, getting careers in gaming, gender biases, things like that. And it was awesome. I have a couple clips here that I'll play for you.
And then some people start taking interest. You can do this. You should think about maybe making games. So it's kind of frustrating when you're trying to get into the industry, but making games is honestly the best way to do that.
I'm nodding very enthusiastically next to it. And BioWare is obviously a pretty big company, but we're fairly representative of big game studios, and that I had a friend that I Dragon Boated with email me the other day and say, oh yeah, my cousin's really interested in making games. What kind of schooling should he get? And it's such a broad question because I don't just make video games. I'm an editor. That's what I do. There are writers in our company. There are all different kinds of artists. There are the concept artists that make the big global ideas of the other artists developed from. There are 3D artists that are very technical. We have all the programmers. We have level designers. We have cinematic designers. We have producers who aren't technical at all but keep this giant herd of crazy cats and butterflies actually focused and so we can get a game out the door every mostly bars or something. They try really hard. I don't envy any of them. But you could do that if you wanted to. And the voiceover artists and the sound designers have the coolest jobs in the world. They get to go blow up tanks and stuff. So they got to go, our dudes went and blew up a tank and got to record it for something. I don't know, they have the coolest jobs in the world. Because they could, I think, probably largely. But that is to say, figure out what your passion is and how it fits into it. Because there's not just making games. You don't just go make movies, right? There's all different facets. So get good at what you're doing. Practice, find other people who are doing it. The second bit of advice I would layer on top of that is get feedback, get critiques, because unless you're running a one-person game company, you're working with a team.
I really like throwing statistics in people's faces actually now, which is really nice.
Oh, and so there's a new one.
The new one that just came out. It was amazing. Yeah. So I don't know how many people in the audience are aware of this, but apparently women now make up the largest demographic. Adult women are the largest demographic of video game players. So you have
20 something and 34, 18 to 34, there are more women who play games than there are men 24 to 17.
Yeah. Who is the sort of like atypical, like, this is exactly what gamers are. These are the guys who buy all the Mountain Dew and the cheesies, right? So I really like taking that fact, where the women make up 49% of the gaming audience, and just kind of like toss it in front of them and see what they do with it. They're like, oh, well, I need proof. And then, of course, I have my fancy iPhone, and I'm like, well, you see, I have this document already up on my phone.
I happen to have it bookmarked.
Like computing science people, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I played like this video game, and someone's like, whoa, you played games? Did you play this? How would you like the ending? Like, or how many, like, what's your Steam gamer score? Somebody asked me what my Steam level was. It's like, I know, it's like,
How many Xbox Live points do you have?
how much money have you spent on their gamification? But with those like times, it's really hard for me in like those conversations to like, I get defensive and I get like a little bit emotional because I'm like, dear. So I think for me, like, I have to let it like slide off, and then I put my energy into something more productive. Like, I read an intelligent blog post about it later, like why quizzing women on their geek cred is not productive.
So that seminar was probably the highlight of the expo for me this year. Just being in a room full of people who love gaming, who just tell you to just be who you want to be and do what you want to do. It's just awesome. Anyway, that was my expo experience this year. Definitely, if you get a chance to go, you should definitely go. There's always something for everybody.